Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to another episode of the Proud Terriers Show. I hope you're doing well. I hope, obviously, this kind of past week has been difficult, for sure. And so it's been kind of 6 days since kind of things happened, and I'm going to kind of give the fairest reflection that I can give. In terms of, kind of assessing the game and kind of getting into the details about what happened in the game as well. Now, kind of looking at each team's performance, first and foremost, I think obviously Forest, did edge that first half. But I don't think either team did that great, throughout. Obviously Forest had a lot more half chances, we didn't have any chances in that first half. And yeah, it was very disappointing, to be honest with you. And then obviously, they scored just before half time. Like I say, they did get the ball into the box. And obviously Colwell puts it into his own net, which is so unfortunate for him because, he's had an absolutely unbelievable season, and, for it to kind of end like that, it's not great. But of course, he has been an absolutely incredible signing that we made, and I really am glad that we got him in, but it's just so unfortunate in this moment. Obviously you could say it's lucky, the goal, but at the end of the day, lucky or not, they still ended up scoring, so it doesn't really matter, does it? Obviously Forest, did look, like I said, they did look like most likely to score in that first half more than us, because they just edged it slightly. Kind of looking at us in the first half, we didn't create anything, which was disappointing from my point of view, because at the end of the day, we know how good we've been this season. We know how, the level that we've kind of been able to produce, and we just couldn't bring it to this final. We really couldn't, for whatever reason. I know obviously finals can be cagey at the start. I appreciate that, and it can be, that kind of cagey affair. But we just, as the kind of game went on, we just couldn't find anything still, though. And it was just not kind of good enough. Like I said, but we didn't really create anything second half either, obviously. But to be honest with you, like I said, when you are involved in two separate incidents, with penalty decisions kind of not going your way, and like I said, when you're up against 13 men as well, it's really difficult. And it's always going to be kind of that uphill struggle. Like I said, we had zero shots on target in 90 minutes plus. We haven't done that before this season. And, obviously in the biggest game of them all, we just couldn't seem to get... We seem to be, kind of trying to walk into the net, doing too much to it, Sometimes you just got to have a strike from distance, and, you just never know. But yeah, it is one of those. But, if you look at these two penalty claims that we had, and two opportunities, that we could have kind of scored from, at least got on target. Obviously, let's get into the first penalty, claim. Obviously, Toffolo kind of darts into the box. And like I said, there's clearly contact between him and Colback, yeah. And then, obviously, he sticks out, and he actually did catch him. So I can't understand how that is not a penalty. I really can't. As soon as it happens as well, Colback puts his hands up in, pleading his innocence kind of thing. And when that happens, that he knows that he's given a foul away. And, the referee has well and truly bottled it in this first moment. Now, obviously, initially, John Moss didn't, give the penalty. But then VAR intervened and said that he wants to check it. And after VAR did intervene, it was still deemed no penalty, which I find absolutely baffling, because how can you not say that's a penalty? That's not a penalty. With clear contact, with Toffolo, and I don't understand. Those people in them rooms that are watching the games and every decision. How have they not? How can you not see that it's a penalty? I could see it was a penalty, with my own eyes at Wembley. I didn't need TV cameras. I already knew. But it's just so frustrating. Like I say, then John Moss, goes and books Toffolo for diving, which is just absolutely disgraceful. Really is. And then, like I say, we move on, obviously, to the second penalty. Lewis O'Brien, does what he does, really skillful on the ball. He picks it up and he kind of tries to go around. And then, obviously, Lowe literally fouls him. And this one wasn't even taken to VAR, by the way. Not that it would have made a difference, because we saw earlier in the match that VAR didn't seem to want to give us a penalty in the first instance. So, I've never understood kind of why, they decided to put VAR in the Championship playoff final, because at the end of the day, yes, I understand it's the magnitude of the game. Yeah, that's brilliant, but we haven't had it all season. So why? They shouldn't be putting it in just for one game. But the reality is, though, even if VAR wasn't in for that game, John Moss still wouldn't have won the penalties. So, you can look at it either way, can't you? And then, obviously, to sum it up as well, Sandberg got injured, obviously, towards the end of the match. Now, instead of going off behind the goal, he was allowed to walk across the pitch to the side. And I thought to myself, why is he being allowed to do that? He's literally by the touchline behind the goal. So why is he allowed to do that? But no, John Moss didn't do anything about it. And yeah, they literally just got away with it. Now, to give you a bit of context here, I cannot believe that John Moss was actually given this game in the first place, I'm honest with you. If you read in between the lines, obviously he lives near Leeds, obviously there's a big rivalry with us and Leeds. So why was that allowed to happen? You're never able to kind of, when they choose referees, that's what kind of comes into play, where they're located and things like that, because it can be seen as being biased towards the opponent if you are from a place where there is a rivalry, and like I say, not only designed to give it to someone who's about to retire, which, by the way, if you're about to retire, that means you're struggling, which I don't understand why he's been given a game of this magnitude when he's struggling. You know what I mean? It doesn't add up for me. Just makes no sense whatsoever. Now, I've got a comment here that was that I saw on social media about VAR, actually. So I'm going to read it to you all. It says, the more you think about it, the introduction of VAR to football actually makes football more of a target for corruption. It is a pre-allocated body that can override, ignore, or change a decision or request made in a live moment and goes unchallenged. However, the only activation is the referee or appointed VAR. No player, manager, or other official can request its use in a game. Which I thought it got spot on about VAR, actually. It is. The more you read into it, the more you're thinking to yourself, yeah, that this is absolutely spot on what is said. Now, there's been all sorts of talk, really. You know, obviously corruption within the game, especially UEFA. By the way, UEFA, I've never ever trusted the integrity of football because of UEFA. And you know, if you're reading between the lines here, it really does feel like they were just out to kind of, you know, obviously in the build to the game, everyone was talking about Forest this, Forest that. You know, all the media wanted Forest to go. Let's be honest, because you know, that was the only team in the final according to the media, and you know, like I say, the fact is, you know, with news coming out about Nottingham Forest, you know, obviously, you know, previous history of match fixing and you know, and getting himself into trouble. So, you know, it just doesn't seem right to me. It feels like it's, whether you agree with it or not, it feels like there was, you know, the result was predetermined. It really does, because if you look at the game and the moments that happened in the game, I mean, I'm not saying that we deserve to win the match. I'm not saying at all. What I'm saying is that, you know, neither team, you know, ran away with it. You know, they got lucky with the own goal, but no team actually ran away with it. Therefore, it should really, you know, well, in theory, if they wouldn't have scored that goal, then obviously we would have got a penalty, one or two penalties, you know, make your mind up how many we should have got. Then we, you know, could potentially have won. But I don't think, you know, either team deserved to win in normal time. And I think it was a game that, you know, maybe should have gone to extra time, disregarding obviously the penalty shouts, because obviously I believe both were Stonewall penalties. But I'm just saying, if them didn't happen, you know, it was a pretty even game, and you know, it just, you know, nobody seemed to want to kind of win the game. But yeah, like I say, you know, obviously then things coming out about John Moss, you know, obviously he knows, you know, Steve Cooper's dad. I mean, I can't understand. Again, I've said this a lot throughout the stream. I cannot understand why or how or, you know, how they've allowed this to happen. But you know, it was really gutting, and to be honest with you, it really was upsetting. Like I say, I cried all the way home, and it still feels painful now to talk about, actually. But you know, we've gone on a journey with Carlos, and he's took us, you know, from, you know, a really struggling outfit, you know, to third position in the league. Let that sink in. And I must thank Carlos, you know, and his staff for the incredible job that he's done, because, you know, it's no mean feat doing what he's done. You know, the budget that he's been on, you know, the way he's been able to turn the tide at this football club. But ultimately, he's given he's given our football club back to us. We've found our football club again. You know, he's really united everybody, and you know, I can't speak highly enough of him for what he's done. And yeah, I just want to obviously say thank you to him. You know, it's a big summer ahead. You know, we can really go again next season. I'm not going to say too much about next season just yet, because obviously I'm still kind of coming to terms with this. But yeah, I mean, thank you, like I said, to the players as well. They've really showed incredible qualities this season. You know, provided us amazing memories, and you know, it's been incredible to be able to. You know, we've had some fantastic times this season. We really have. So yeah, like I said, thank you kind of to them as well, because it is you know, it's been a roller coaster of a season, but it's been so much. You know, you can see what kind of Carlos is trying to build here, what he has built, should I say, and yeah, I really believe strongly that we can really, you know, come back next season stronger, and you know, and take this kind of pain that we felt, you know, in that playoff final at the full time whistle, and bring it forward to the upcoming season. Because, make no mistake about it, those players, will be absolutely heartbroken still. I know they will. You could see the emotion, especially after the game as well. You obviously saw Thomas just totally, unconsolable. He really was. And, you can understand why, because, the ride he's made, he was literally a non-league player last January. And he was so close to achieving a lifelong dream. It was an absolute dream to be in the Premier League, playing Premier League football. So I think because he's had such a quick transformation, I think he felt even more gutted, even though every single player was gutted. Of course they were. A player, it's going to Wembley and winning a playoff final is the best feeling ever. But when you lose, it really is the worst feeling ever in the world. Obviously, the first time I've kind of experienced, obviously, losing at Wembley, last week. And yeah, it's not nice at all. It really isn't. And yeah, it's going to take a while to get over. Still, it's still kind of difficult. But yeah, we can certainly be proud of this team. And the manager, absolutely incredible, like I say. And yeah, we'll have to see kind of what happens in the summer with transfer kind of recruits and things like that. But we've got a great foundation. I just hope we can kind of keep the core of our squad and then add to it, because we do need to add to it still. But yeah, I think I've kind of wrapped that up very nicely, to be honest with you. I don't really think there's much else to say. Like I say, this game at Wembley, it was a massive moment for us, and we just didn't turn up, unfortunately. Because we didn't have, we had 0 shots on target, like I say. So I'm not saying we deserve to win. I'm just saying that when you go into a football match, you kind of want to have a fair roll of the dice, if you could say so. And when you're getting decisions made left, right, and centre against you, and then hearing things after the game as well, it makes it even worse. About obviously this corruption with the owner at Forest, and John Moss, background in terms of where he's from and where he lives, and and who he knows. It just seems so. And I don't think I'll ever be able to trust the integrity of football ever again. I mean, it is difficult. I mean, maybe not. Maybe I will be able to at one point, but right now, there's just too much money in the game, and it's just absolutely. Yeah, it's not helping the game at all. But yeah, I mean, like I say, absolutely full of pride and admiration and respect for these players and manager at our football club, because, like I said, they provided us with some incredible moments. We really did deserve that fairy tale ending, but unfortunately, football is cruel, really is cruel at times, and we're gonna just have to move on from this and learn from it, and and just go again next season, push on next season, and really try and potentially get in the top 2 again next season instead. The thing about it, this season we weren't that far away from getting top 2. It had a few results gone our way, in certain fixtures. We could have been close and it could have happened, but it's all ifs, buts, and maybes, really, to be honest with you, isn't it? But yeah, we can look forward to next season. Like I say, I hope we can keep core of our squad and add to it. But yeah, like I say, thank you everybody for coming on. If you do like this video, please smash the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And yeah, there'll be more content coming out soon. Obviously, with no football, it's kind of gives us an opportunity to kind of speak about things that maybe I'm kind of wanted to cover on the shows. So but also we're doing kind of a because obviously the retain list was announced, wasn't it? So we're going to look at the retain list and see who's gone. and who is staying, and yeah, looking at who we would like to see coming as well. So yeah, I think that is it. Yeah, but yeah. So yeah, please go and follow us on our social media if you are new to us, at Proud Terriers on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. I'd really appreciate you coming on this journey with us. We've had an incredible season. With what we've achieved as a group. So I just want to thank everybody actually for really helping us and supporting us, and continued support really. And obviously, to all our new members that have joined us this year as well, on our Facebook page, and obviously just joined the family, if you could say so, on Twitter, with obviously following and things like that, and Instagram. But yeah, I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart, from everybody at Proud Terriers, for all your incredible support. Every year we try and improve, we try and get more ideas going, and really work hard as a group. But yeah, that is all from me. I'll be back in the next few days, as I say, with the next video, looking at our retain list and who we would like to see come to town in the summer. But yeah, thanks as always, and I shall see you on the next one. Cheers, guys. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Bye.